What's up, everybody? Welcome to my Married to Medicine Season 7 Episode 3 review. This episode had me a little bit, I don't know, but I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. So we start off with Simone and Quad. They're at the dinner. They're supposed to be making up. Quad decides that this will be a good time to bring up the crab boil. If y'all didn't see last season, y'all will know that the crab boil situation that happened, Quad was going through a divorce with Greg. And she had not been telling anybody what's going on. She just kind of ghosted the entire friendship. So basically, they show up there. Simone at this point is feeling some type of way because we're supposed to be friends. You ain't saying shit to me. You're going to show up at this crab boil smiling, kikiing in my face. But I don't know what's going on with you. So she kind of approached her in a very, very hostile way. Like, Quad, it's been a long time. Catch us up. So they went through that. And at the end of the crab boil situation, Simone now went to Quad and said, you know what? You can talk to me anytime you want to. We can hash things out. I miss your friendship, all that stuff. So I thought they squashed it. Quad, end of last episode, said, Simone, I want to catch up with you. I want to rekindle our friendship. They get to the dinner and she's bringing the crab boil shit up. And so Simone leaves and she's pissed off. In the confessional, Quad then says that she is not able to move on with a genuine authentic friendship with somebody if she's not able to articulate to the person, look, what you did pissed me off last year. We need to fix things. However, I don't feel like she needs to bring this shit up at all. Simone already kind of went over it, apologized, and I just can't keep apologizing to you for the same shit all the time. You just can't keep bringing up stuff. Let it go. Like, at this point, stop holding on to stuff. You got to just carry. You can't carry all that weight on your shoulder and then expect me to carry it with you. Bear the cross by yourself. So that happened. And then Simone ends up getting pissed off. She goes home. She's now recapping the situation with Cecil. Like, listen, we brought this up at the crab boil. Because Cecil was asking her, why are you home early? Like, what happened? You're supposed to be fixing things. You're supposed to be out and about, that kind of stuff. So she basically says, you know what? We talked about it. It didn't work. She brought up some shit for last year. We ain't going to get anywhere. And then that scene kind of ended. The third scene we have is Toya now going to Mariah's house. Now, this type of friendship with Mariah is fake as fuck. Mariah has said so much crap about Toya in the past. She said Toya was stupid. She said Toya spends money bad. She's even shading her while she's at her own damn house. Toya, why the hell are you at this woman's house? She is not your friend. She would never be your friend. Right now, Mariah's on the outs with half the group. She's now talking to Simone and she's not talking to Toya because that's all she has. And when she is with both of them, she's almost trying to plant this negative seed in their mind. Oh my gosh, Jackie did this to me. Jackie was so messy. The podcast, Jackie brought up the fact that Quad accused me last year of doing drugs, I think particularly cocaine. She's like, Jackie's so messy. You know, I used to have respect for Jackie. Like, just downing Jackie. I feel like she's a little bit intimidated by Jackie. Jackie doesn't give her the fucked up energy that she asked for. Jackie doesn't feed into the drama that she wants to be in. Jackie doesn't feed into the bullshit, and Jackie's not easily manipulated. Jackie will give you shade, but she will do it in such a way that you feel like you're dumb. Because you have to be smart enough to understand her shade. She'll turn her side. She will look at you, and you already know she's not fucking with you. So Mariah has this huge thorn in her side for Jackie. So here's Toya, and she's unloaded that onto Toya. Toya then says, listen, Contessa called my husband a bitch, and I'm not sitting up here trying to go after Contessa for it because that's her opinion. I don't agree with it, but I would like us to get to the place where we can at least have a decent friendship. And I feel like Toya does miss Contessa's friendship, and she don't feel like she wants things to be the way that they are, as opposed to sitting here doing Mariah's doing, which is like, oh, this happened to me and this happened to me. Mariah, to me, is coming for somebody who just likes drama at this point, okay? Whether she likes Quad or not, she just likes drama. Then we get to the next scene, and we have Simone and Jackie meet up, and Jackie brings her flowers. Now, when Jackie brings her, you already know she's gonna ask you to do something that you might not want to do. And she brought her flowers, and she did it in the, with saying that, listen, I want you, Simone, to go and meet up with Dr. Heavenly, because Heavenly and Jackie are cool. Jackie and Simone are cool. So she don't want to have a situation to where she's having to go back and forth with friends. So let's all just meet up and talk about it so you guys can get on one accord. And then Simone says, you know what? If you want me to meet up with Heavenly, you're going to have to meet up with Mariah, because Simone ain't dumb. She knows that Dr. Jackie don't see it for Mariah. She would never see it for Mariah. So she said, okay, if I have to meet up with this broad, you got to meet up with Mariah, and we can now squash this. So Jackie, being the diplomatic person and being able to be cordial, said, you know, fine, I'll do that shit. So I'll meet up with all. We'll just basically trick them into meeting each other. Then we get to Contessa meeting up with Heavenly. Contessa's saying that her husband Dr. Scott did last episode kind of talk down to her in a certain way, kind of made her feel bad for going to school. Now, I'm not, pissed off at Contessa going to school. That's not the issue. At this point, I'm not sure if Dr. Scott is even pissed off about her going to school. Nobody's going to be mad at you about you going to school. But last season, I think at some point she quit her job because she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. One of the first season that she came, she felt like she was not, spending enough time with her kids. And I'm starting to think that she felt that way because of how Dr. Scott made her feel. When a little nanny woman left, she now feels like, I want to be around my kids more. She stopped working. Then she said, oh, I want to go back to work half-time. That's the next season. She can't stay at home. She wants to work and bring in some money because she doesn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. Now she's going to school because she wants to be an attorney general. I don't know what's going on with Contessa, whether she's really like trying to pursue her career for real, or if she's just kind of stuck and she wants something to help, give her the pizzazz she wants. Because you got a husband back home who is like talking to you like, you're not doing enough, you're not giving enough, you're not being enough. And I get that he might be frustrated because she doesn't have, a set thing that she wants to do. She's going from this to this to this to this. I get that part. But at the same time, that is not the approach. And at the same time, Contessa can't just be, communicate. And you can't just be out of state going to school with these 3, little ass kids. And this man has to work, taking them to school, do all this stuff. He didn't have the kids by himself. Going to school out of state is not necessarily the best choice. Find a school that's in town where you can go to school, do what you need to do, and still be at home so he doesn't feel like he's doing it by himself. He married you. Y'all supposed to be together. Y'all supposed to do it together. That's my take on it. Heavenly also told her, a woman's place is at home. Now, I'm not falling for that. That's not me. Some women, they want to stay at home, and it's kudos to you. But y'all be at home, but I'll also be doing my own thing. But I'm not finna leave my kids and go out of state and pursue my dreams when I got 3 little kids out here. I already chose to have kids. This is the life I chose. This is what I'm going to live. That's just me. But hey, to each his own. Now, the next scene we have, you got Toya and Eugene having to talk to the boys because the boys are not acting out. Toya was pregnant. She told the boys. It is affecting the family because of it. So, because she told the boys are now feeling the pain because they can see something's wrong with their mama, of course. And so one of the boys is acting out. The teacher's talking to him. He's turning the chairs, back at him, not even wanting to listen to what the teacher's saying. So she's not, let's talk to our boys and really explain to them the situation and that I'm okay and that they need to understand this process. So they're talking to the boys, and the boys are very smart. They seem receptive to the way that they're parenting, their kids, explaining the situation with the miscarriage, explaining that, sometimes things like this happen. I feel so bad because Toya, it would have been nice for her to have another kid. It's been a while. Her Eugene seemed like they're a good pair. They balance each other out. It was just not something that, it touched my heart. It's just not something that I want to see them, going through. But I'm glad they were able to articulate that to their kids as young as they are to where they can understand and be cool. Then the next thing we have is Simone complaining about her boys being messy. Of course, she's loud. And you got Miles and Michael sitting there. She's telling them, I shouldn't be taking out the trash. I shouldn't be walking the dog. She's right. But you should have tried to groom them to do that years ago. They're full grown now. You yelling. And it's funny because Miles and Michael, they're yelling back at her like, you can't do this, you can't do this. And Michael makes a joke saying, Simone, you tend to do stuff where we could be talking about something small like a pair of shoes and you be yelling, where's my shoe? So I'm like, all right, they really know their mom. But some of the stuff that she said, she was on point with regard to that. But I don't know if this is something that she can, impose, like on their life right now because they're so old. But hell, she was talking about the mess and they clean up the mess. I'm not going to, exhaust my time talking about that scene. It was just what it is. That scene, talk about the family. Then we get to Heavenly talking to a lawyer. Laura is now 13 years old, as beautiful as she is. Seems like a lawyer is now growing up. She's 13. She's now doing, what 13-year-olds does. She don't want to talk to her mom about sex. Heavenly's sitting there telling her, like, when do you, I don't want you to have a boyfriend. Do you have a boyfriend? When do you think she needs to be dating? She's like, I can date at 15. Her dad comes in and said, no, 30. Heavenly's telling her, no, ignore the boys because boys only, they only got one thing on their mind, which she's right. But Heavenly did say a few seasons ago, she trapped daddy. She chose to get pregnant. She wanted to keep that man, so she got knocked up so he could stay with her. Now your daughter's finna do the same thing because she's, just like you. So I don't know, talking to a lawyer, if she's gonna really like, adhere to those rules. She's 13, but who knows? The girl's beautiful. She's smart. I'm sure she'll make the right choice. Then we leave that scene. Next, we have Jackie meeting up with Quad. And Quad is now recapping what happened with the dinner with Simone. And Quad cooking, made some great meal. Jackie acknowledges she good cook. And Quad basically insinuates that Jackie shouldn't be telling her how to cook because she don't tell her how to be a doctor, because this is her area and this is her expertise. And it is, you know, she's made a cookbook and stuff like that, so I can't knock her on that one. But she brings up that she brought up the past. She starts with the crab boy with Simone, and she starts off harsh and she's pissed. And Jackie's like, no, we can't keep apologizing for the same thing. The girl already squashed it with you. She can't keep apologizing. At this point, if you're expecting an apology for the same thing over and over and over and over again, the problem is not with the person who caused the issue. The problem is with you, your ability to receive it. And she's right. Quad needs to let things go. I can't imagine that she was like this to her husband when she was married to Greg. Greg cannot keep apologizing for the same thing for the rest of his life. You got to learn how to let shit go. And Quad, as stubborn as she is, thinks she didn't do nothing wrong. Yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, Simone did something fucked up to you. I get it, but I watched her apologize. I watched her make amends. We all watched her make amends. You gonna watch yourself forgive her, or you gonna sit here and keep bringing this shit up? I don't know, but Quad needs to grow up a little bit. Then we have the next scene with Mariah, Jackie, Simone, and Heavenly meet up. But Jackie tricked Heavenly into meeting up with Simone. She didn't tell her the truth. You hear Heavenly tell Jackie, you know, you're a little bit messy, because Jackie is a little bit messy, that's the truth, but she does it in a very, very clean way, in a very subtle way. She's messy as a motherfucker, but she's not about to throw it in your face. You have to kind of, you know, like, it's a subtle type of messy, but she is messy herself. They get there, and sorry about that, my battery's low. They get there, and Jackie decides to address Mariah first, because you know she don't give a damn. Mariah, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of an inch, let you let go whatever it is. I'm just gonna say sorry, we're gonna call it a day. But we know Jackie will never feel it from Mariah. Mariah brings up the fact that she brought up the cocaine situation and accuses her of bringing something up she didn't fact check. Jackie's like, well, I just repeated what was said, and I said it. She said it in the context of, do you think it was right for Quad to say something like that? Mariah's like, but you shouldn't have said it because it was fact check. You didn't ask me first. I don't have to ask you shit, bitch. We're not friends. I don't have to ask you anything. We are not friends, and I repeated what something that's already been said. So why am I sitting here apologizing to you? I didn't make that shit up. Somebody else said it. That's how I know Jackie's feeling, but she actually humbled herself and apologized to Mariah. But Mariah, at this point, I just think that she feels like Jackie needs to be knocked down a peg, and she just wants so much for Jackie to give her some form of an energy, some attention, something. And she's now nitpicking at things at this point. It's just like desperation, but whatever. She says sorry just to move on, just to give Mariah just some kind of energy so she can get out of her face. Then you have Simone now addressing Heavenly, and Simone says, I told you something in confidence. I told you that Cecil didn't have a job and it was frustrating me. Cecil went on Twitter and said something to Heavenly, and Heavenly responded by saying maybe you should get a job and you shouldn't be talking to, you know, women. I agree that Cecil should be going back and forth with Heavenly. That, you know, let the girls, you know, go at it. You shouldn't even be in here because Daddy ain't gonna get in there and do that shit. But at the same time, what Heavenly said was not a huge secret. Simone, during her confessional all through last season, was very adamant and clear that she wanted her husband to have a job. She don't want a man who don't have a job, a black man at home with no job. She don't want that. So if he's gonna argue with Heavenly, Heavenly's gonna get him in the gut, get him where, you know, it hurts. But she didn't say anything that we already don't know about. But something tells me that maybe, just maybe, Cecil went and kind of talked to Simone about it and was mad at her. Like, why are you dogging me out to your friends? Like, I'm your man. You're not supposed to be doing something like that. Now you got Heavenly, for all people, saying this type of stuff on national, you know, like on Twitter, on a national social media website for everybody to see. That's not cool. So now Simone's now taking that anger out on Heavenly as if Heavenly did something that was so horrible. Heavenly didn't do something that was so horrible. Yes, she shouldn't have said that to Cecil because y'all are friends, and she should have respect your husband. And if I'm friends with you, I'm not going to say something to your husband that can be disrespectful, because I'm always going to think about the, you know, my better friendship, my better half, whatever the case is, to basically want to do something that would never put her in a situation to where she's now arguing with her own man. I wouldn't do something like that, but I know Heavenly would get you, and she would get you in the jugular. And she don't accept responsibility for shit. She will argue with you first, and argue before you get to a conclusion with her. This meeting ends with Heavenly apologizing to Simone after a long argument. Jackie just tolerating Mariah just because that's not happening. They leave and they're recapping the situation in the car. You got Mariah and Simone in the same car recapping what happened. Mariah's like, I hope the energy stays the way it is, and they're giggling because they know it ain't gonna happen. And then Heavenly asks Jackie what we all know. Jackie, are you friends with Mariah? And Jackie said, there's different levels of friendship. Bitch, she ain't friends with Mariah. We know. She's never gonna be friends with that girl. Mariah has a very, 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 very dramatic a little bit of a corrupt spirit. You know, she has a little bit of a way where she manipulates people, and Jackie called it before when she was friends with Lisa Nicole. Putting stuff in your head because she wants you to react a certain way. Is that Jackie pegged that about her, and she doesn't like that Jackie feels that way about her, so she keeps nitpicking at everything, trying to knock Jackie down a peg, basically trying to say we're the same, we're not different, you're just as messy as me type situation. But Jackie ain't trying to feel that. So the episode ends. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna give y'all all the tea, and we're gonna just keep going when I do these reviews. Thanks. Bye.